The big game is fast approaching, but wait, you still haven't got your tickets. You've spent hours searching, but you're still confused about ticket prices. Time to stop searching. Visit ticketcompare.com. We compare ticket prices for all the popular leagues and tournaments for you. We work only with the most trustworthy sites, so you can have peace of mind when buying your tickets. Compare prices, buy tickets, get to the game. Ticketcompare.com. Buying tickets made simple.
I've got to hold this up, lads. Sam, just this way, sir. Thank you. So, straight there, that's right.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
Just
Thanks very much.
Yannick come in. Yannick came in, sat down, and started laughing to himself. And walked
Oh, good. Well done. Is that true?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He came in and sat down. Well, first of all, Sam, we're live on Sky Sports News HQ. When you've taken on this job now, why did you perform effectively a U-turn? Because it seemed that you had ruled yourself out of it.
It was a very quick phone call when I was in Dubai about it's ready to roll, and from my point of view, I expected it to be a little bit quicker, and it wasn't. So, but then of course the call came, and then within 48 hours I was here, and Everton was always going to be a temptation to come back out of retirement and take up the challenge, of course. And I think that I'd have been offered a number of jobs between retiring from Crystal Palace and sort of almost officially saying I'd retired for the first time. Always before I'd sort of said you never know what might happen. So I got offered more jobs when I said I'd retired than I've ever been offered in my life. So, and finally Everton came along, and like I said, in the end it was done within 48 hours, even with me being in Dubai. And after enjoying the Grand Prix at Abu Dhabi, which was outstanding, the phone call came from Everton, which gave a great end to that holiday, like I mean, and flew back and came straight from the airport straight to watch the team perform an outstanding performance on Wednesday night against West Ham, and you know, and the contract finally got finished with its little bit of clauses that have to be written in the right manner, as we all know, through lawyers, and it's done and dusted. So I'm delighted that I've come back into a club of this magnitude, size, and the history of the football club.
It seems then that you're ready to come back into football. You felt the need to come back into football, but why was Everton so tempting?
Was Everton? It's the word, the name of the club says it all itself. It's you know, I'm big mates with Reedy and Andy Gray and Paul Bracewell, like you mean, and you know, they eulogise about this football club when they had spent their time there. You know what I mean? Big Dunk, and the coaching staff here talks about this club with great affection, like I mean. So you know, it was extremely difficult for me to move on last time, but I couldn't say no when they came back. I had to, didn't really have a tough decision to make then once they finally said, let's see where we go, and that was it. It was done.
So you've got friendships at stake then, because if you've got to get it right, haven't you, with those friends?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's in a difficult place at the moment, which nobody expected. And because nobody expected that, it's probably, you know, why they come and ask me to take over the reins, to bring a bit of stability to the club. But this time I wanted to be much more than that, really, because I want to see the club grow, and I want to see it live along with the ambition that it's had recently. It finished 7th last season, it got into Europe, and everybody expected that it would be a good season this season, and they might be able to move on, or certainly get in the round where they finished last year. That hasn't happened, and for whatever reason, it's my job to steer them back in the right direction, and then try to get them back in amongst the European places and FA Cup final or I don't know what the other cup final's called now. What is it called? Carabao Cup final. So the first and foremost thing is to get the team back to winning ways, to bring some stability to the club, to get them playing as good as they played on Wednesday night consistently. Hopefully that will happen tomorrow. It'll tell me an awful lot if we can hit that level of performance again, which tells me we're moving in the direction, or there'll be a falter in the performance and the result doesn't go quite our way. Will tell me an awful lot about the players that we have at this moment in time. But certainly I was so impressed on Wednesday night to come back from the two previous results and win like they did shows they've got an outstanding character in amongst them.
So do you view this as a longer term project for yourself than an 18-month contract that you've signed?
Yeah, because contracts don't mean anything, do they, much today, apart from you need to sign a contract, you need to have a contract written down in terms of negotiation, but if you do well, that contract gets extended. If you don't do so well, you get sacked. And that's what we have to face today. I think average life of a Premier League manager is probably about 1.2 years, 14 months or so on and so forth. So, if you're going forward and the club's going in the right direction and the ambition, you can deliver the ambition the football club has, and this football club has a lot of ambition, certainly from the owners all the way down. We all know the fans are ambition, they always have been. So if we get the right recruitment and we can galvanise the players that are already here, and the most important thing here at the moment is keep the players fit, because 9 of them are injured, and those 9 players are affecting the possibility of you picking a team to deliver a performance and give consistent results. So those 9 injuries, coupled with the fixtures in Europe and the fixtures in the Premier League, have been a massive problem to the level of performance and results. So that's what I have to resolve. I have to resolve all those problems, and particularly the injured players getting fit and staying fit, because even though Europe will finish next week, we're going to 10 games in December because of the Christmas period. So getting those players fit will be a crucial part of our success.
Have you got thoughts already then on who you need to bring in January?
Not particularly, not yet. No, I've only been here 48 hours, so but there will be plenty of information in recruitment terms through the club. We've got a very, very good recruitment system and cover a huge amount of games and a huge amount of knowledge on players that we will tap into. But the first and foremost things are the players here at the moment, and obviously the players who are fit, getting the best out of them we possibly can, and then just as important, how quick can we get the players who are injured back into the squad.
Have you spoken to Ross Barkley then as well, and do you feel that you are able to persuade him that his future long term lies with Everton?
I haven't spoken to Ross yet because he is injured, and I have to focus on Saturday's game, and that focus is to put all my attention on the players that are available to play tomorrow. Down the line, all the players who are here will sit down and have a one-on-one with me, and I will find out where people lie in terms of their position at the club on the way forward, how they see it, how I see it, and at the end of all that, I'll have a much better picture to talk to the owners and the board about how I see the squad and where it is at the moment, and who is or who isn't quite as happy as I might have thought they were.
From the information that you've had, though, as an outsider looking in up until now, would you say that Ross is someone that this club should be looking to keep hold of long term? I mean, well, obviously they have tried.
They've tried, haven't they?
They have tried.
Well, they've tried, and there's only so far a football club can go, and it's, I don't know exact details. I'm not privy to those details, but I think the most important thing for me and for us is not to worry about a contract, it's to worry about getting fit and performing to whatever level he performed to before, because if he stays here, that'd be great. If he goes somewhere else, he's going to need, to hit the sort of level he got to perhaps get the contract that he's looking for.
Given you saw the game the other night as well, where does Wayne Rooney fit into your plans after he gave such a stark reminder of what he can produce?
Well, there's no problem with him playing deep anymore. So he's put that one to bed.
Is that the role you see for him long term?
So, well, where would you see it after Wednesday night?
Well, I play him.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist here or a manager to know where he's going to be playing. I mean, my God, he's an outstanding performance, and Wayne set his standard again, hasn't he? He's got to try and live to that standard again. Like, I mean, delivering those performances, all that performance of the night was almost like the old Wayne Rooney at Manchester United. Like, I mean, completely controlled the game, and his outstanding quality, and the way he drifted into the box for his second goal, and the way he took his third goal. I suppose he was a little bit lucky on the first because the penalty came off Hart, and he managed to put that in. But it was a performance we needed to stop the run we were in, and that performance got us a victory. And there was many outstanding performances, and more importantly for me, and this is nothing to do with the negativity of football, as people might say, but it's only the second clean sheet we've achieved, and everybody knows that the defensive solidarity of any team defines the success of a football club.
Do you have to win over the fans here, Sam?
Everybody has to win over the fans. So if you lose, the fans criticise you. If you win, the fans are okay with you. So whatever perception the fans have about me, is nothing I can do about that. It's been over many, many years now, and it's not true, of course, because we play a game of football to try and win it. And with the players that we have available, my job is to allow the players to play to their best and their strengths, and that has always been the case wherever I've been. So I have never played the same way at any football club I've managed. And I've managed 7 in this Premier League now, which is more than anybody else. And each club has had a different philosophy on how you should play, a different way that you should play. And all I've tried to do is try to live to that philosophy that they have at the moment. And luckily enough for me, wherever I've been, I've managed to leave the club in a far better position than when I've taken over. Like, I mean, so who knows how far we can take Everton? Only time will tell.
In terms of that brand of football, then, what can they envisage from it?
A winning brand, hopefully, but that will determine on the players producing their best performances within the context of the team that we're playing. Like, so we can't play the same way against some teams, or the same way as others. So we can't play the same way every game. That would be naive. So we set out to look at the opposition's weaknesses, see how we can expose those, and make sure that we nullify their strengths. And if we do that in the right manner, make fewer mistakes than the opposition, we have a chance of winning.
In terms of this deal getting done for you, what input has there been from Farhad Moshiri, Bill Kenwright?
Fantastic. I mean, it's a massive decision for an owner to make and appoint a new manager. Particularly, I think, when it didn't expect it. I don't think it expected that they would be sitting in the position of letting Ronald Koeman go after what he did last season. And all of a sudden, they had to find this solution. They felt it was a necessity, and now who's in the market as a new manager? And I think that again is a huge decision to find a new manager and to get the right one, and hopefully I am the right one for Everton. Time will tell. Steve
Walsh, you already know here as well. Is that a big help for you?
It's massive, because I mean, I get better by the players that we bring in from now on. So if a new player arrives at Everton Football Club, I have to make sure, with Steve's help and everybody's help and the board's help, that he's better than the one that he's replacing. And the art of building a successful side is choosing those players to play for Everton Football Club now, to make sure that they're the right players for us. And the track record for me is, in recruitment terms, I think has always been one of my strengths. The recruitment at Crystal Palace last January was why we ended up beating Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal. So if we didn't beat those boys, we'd have got relegated. We battered Hull City when we needed to 4-0 at home to make sure we stayed in the Premier League, and that became by the new players that were recruited in January making the team so much better. And so that's what our job is, or my job is, with the recruitment department, to find this player, find that player. And I have to say, it is the hardest job now in the game. This job is hard where I'm sat, but that's just as hard, if not harder now, because one, there's not enough of them, and two, the prices are very expensive indeed.
And Sammy Lee joining you again, just over a week away from the Merseyside derby.
Yeah, the wee man. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, yeah. So I'm delighted that he's come with me, and we've got a great working relationship, which I felt is very important, because I can't do it all on my own, and along with 2 or 3 others who will follow. I think that we're close to, obviously, Ryland Morgan, who's performance analysis man, who I think everybody knows now. It gives us another edge on the physical and tactical and education side, in terms of developing players from that side of it, and understand the times of training, nutrition, values, and rest and sleep deprivation, all those sort of things that he just slides in nice and easy, along with all the coaching technology we do now today, and all the analysis. So that, with the coaching network that hopefully will be finished off by the end of next week, will give me the good basis to try and move forward as quickly as possible, along with the staff who are already here. Integrate them and see where and what they're doing in their positions, and making sure that they're delivering to the players everything that they can possibly deliver, because that helps the player to become better and perform better on a week-to-week basis, and becomes more consistent.
Just to check then, Craig Shakespeare joining you as well as
Craig, hopefully by the end of today, with a bit of luck. But
and Duncan stays, obviously.
Duncan stays, yes.
And you're taking over a club that is in a better position than when Ronald Koeman left, of course, as well. So this gives you a platform, I suppose, to build.
Yes, it does. It's obviously, for me, quite unusual that we've got more points than games. Like, I mean, normally when I come in, there's a lot less points than games. Like, I mean, and we have to make that up. So that's how crucial the win was. And of course, I spoke to the players only briefly, and I'm taking nothing away from David, because they did a fantastic job. But it was really all about 2 things. It was 1, keeping a clean sheet, and 2, scoring the first goal, and what that brought to the team. A little iffy spell for 25 minutes in the second half, but just putting those 2 things in place give you the platform to climb up the table pretty quickly.
Obviously, finally for me as well, there's a strange coincidence, the World Cup draw today. So how do you feel now that you're sat here as the Everton manager?
I'm delighted. I'm the Everton manager, and what went on in the past is in the Atlantic Ocean now, which is called Water Under the Bridge. Did you get that one? Okay. It's long gone. Obviously, it'll always be there in the back of the mind, but wasn't my decision. I'm bound to say it's the wrong one. I think it's probably been proven that it was the wrong one, but life goes on. I'm just delighted to be here.
Just a couple of quick ones, Sam, because I think kick-off's soon after that.
Yes.
Your goalkeeping coach as well. Will you stick with one of your former players here, or?
I don't know yet. I'm just still mulling over that decision on where we lie at the moment. Alan Kelly's here at the minute, so I used to play with Alan Kelly years ago, of course. So, but we'll see how it works and see how everybody works. And I'm not sure everybody will stay. Some might leave on the fact that as time goes on, they will all have a chance to work with me, and there may be that we don't see eye to eye, or we don't work in the right manner, or what I consider. So there might be people that leave and new people come in, but at the moment, just these 3 or 4 to start with, and hopefully everybody else falls in line.
And as far as Huddersfield's concerned, how much of an impact can you have on the game with such a short space of time?
No, well, I mean, only the fact that you're asking the players to repeat the same and similar performances to the level they did on Wednesday night, and do and do very much the same things. Like, I mean, there's lots of things said about the players, but for me, the outstanding performance was the back four and the goalkeeper keeping a clean sheet. They've got good protection from the rest of the players, which helped an awful lot. So that was very, very important. But West Ham's front line, an attacking force, is their strength. And for the team having conceded 5 and 4, to limit the West Ham team to 0 shots at goal, or certainly 0 shots on target in the first half, and I think 2 shots on target in the second half, just shows how good a defensive unit we were. And of course that gave us the basis to turn some pretty good football on. You know, our attacking play then from that basis became more fluent, I think, and apart from that 20-minute spell just after half time. And what pleased me was how the lads, they got a bit nervous, but they dug in and didn't allow the opposition to score. And I think that's been speaking to David before I got here, that's been the problem. The problem has always been when the opposition have scored, the team seems to have caved in and lost more and more goals, instead of staying galvanised and playing their way back in the team. So that level of performance on Wednesday is the minimum I expect for the team on tomorrow. Fatigue may be a factor because it's such a short period of recovery time, and looking at the load these players have had over the last few months, starting right the way back to Euro qualifiers and all the way through here. Every month's been like Christmas to them. So substitutes might be a big play tomorrow, to if we see anybody sort of tiring or whatever it might be, to put the substitutes on and give us a bit of fresh legs.
So just one finally, if I may, with that in mind, I'm guessing you probably won't want to make many changes, but do you know who you have got available that maybe wasn't available on Wednesday?
Niasse and Keane are available.
Okay,
yeah, so the two lads are fine. Glad to have them back in the squad, especially from Michael Keane's point of view, because defensively we only had those 4 players on Wednesday night who were defenders in the first team squad.
Lane's available?
No.
Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Okay. Thank you.
Good luck. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, brilliant.